Good morning everybody, welcome to another day, another Canada vlog. So today of course I'm starting off with my greens powder. I do this every morning, it's keeping me well at the moment during our travels. I do have a discount code if you're curious down below for all Muscle Nation supplements and gym wear. So we decided last night to push our sunrise hike up Tunnel Mountain to Friday because the weather was going to be a lot nicer and we were more likely to see a sunrise. However, it was our first sunny day today when we woke up and went outside. Lol, so that was ironic. But unfortunately, we weren't actually going to be able to enjoy this beautiful weather in Banff today as we were off to explore the city of Calgary. So as we arrived into the city, it was a little bit overcast. I was a bit disappointed because we left such sunny weather back in Banff, but it did have a little bit of patchy blue sky, so it wasn't too bad walking around exploring the city. I had high expectations for the city and when we got there I was a little bit underwhelmed. I have heard from various people since that Calgary is a bit of a hit and miss sometimes, depending on what season you go in to visit the city. As we walked around the city we saw their equivalent of like the Centrepoint Tower in Sydney, which was pretty cool. But other than that there wasn't really a lot else to see in the city centre anyway. We walked for about 45 minutes just out of the city centre to find this diner, this highly rated diner called the Blue Star Diner because Ness really wanted to try pancakes with bacon while we were here in Canada. Tristan got some and I wanted to try their brioche French toast. Honestly, my French toast was exquisite. It was chef's kiss. It was so good. Tristan and Ness really liked their pancakes and the diner itself was beautiful. The service was fantastic, but like I wouldn't really reorder the pancakes and bacon again. Like Ness and Tristan felt the similar. Like it wasn't anything to rave about, I guess I'm trying to say. We also went to see Prince's Park and the Peace Bridge. The bridge was really cool. I loved the design as we were walking through and we managed to get the walk back to the car in just before the rain started. Overall, it was something to tick off the list, but I don't highly rate the city. As we were driving back to Banff, we thought to ourselves that we'd check out Surreal Ridge to see if there was snow around before we did decide to do the hike tomorrow because the drive to Surreal Ridge from Banff is about an hour and a half drive and we didn't want to waste the day if we were just going to go there and see that we couldn't hike it like in Tent Ridge previously a couple days ago. So we went and checked it out and it was snowing when we got there and pouring with rain, and we thought to ourselves because the hike is so hard and the conditions aren't great, we thought it was best to unfortunately skip it for now, and if I come back to Canada I'll definitely have to tick that one off at a later date. So we drove all the way back to Banff with the beautiful sunny weather ahead. I was so happy, and that's all we did today. Guys, today's the day. We're doing our sunrise hike up Tunnel Mountain. It was absolutely freezing, -1 degrees. We woke up at 4:15 to start walking at around 4:30 a.m. We hadn't hiked this trail before, so we weren't sure where the beginning of the trail started. We actually ended up forging our own path at the beginning until we came across the stairs leading up to Tunnel Mountain hike. Forging our own path proved quite challenging as we had to climb up a super steep slope which we kept sliding down. It was so funny. Once we finally found the beginning of the hike it was much easier, but I did struggle a lot more than the other two with the climb up. The cold air combined with the high altitude proved very challenging for me. After only a couple of meltdowns along the way I finally made it up to the top with the others helping motivate me, which I really appreciated. The views were a little obscured to begin with as there was fog surrounding the mountain. This is one sound at the moment. I can't get that. Nesta's still working on her swallow call. Oh! That was a good one. Getting there. You can see the fog lifting up over there. What was that in? It's in bad neighbours. She's like, who do you? Nessa's mating call. It's the finger flaps for me. It's so cute. The fog did start to eventually lift as the sun began to rise. It kind of pulled some of that cloud cover up with it. We stayed for about 30 minutes at the summit and watched as the fog lifted and the sun rose up over the mountains. It was beautiful, but I can't even describe to you how absolutely freezing cold I was. My fingers were in agony, honestly, and it stayed sitting at around 0 degrees the whole time we were up there. It's freezing! It's very beautiful up here. so worth the cold. The fog did lift a bit, but we still had trouble with it sitting over the valley, so we didn't get completely unobscured views while we were up there. We had one last look at the summit and headed down the mountain. The views were better as we headed down though, which was good. So as we were walking down, the fog started to lift a bit higher, so we could actually see unobscured views, which was really beautiful and made the hike really worth it. We could see the town of Banff down below and the views were gorgeous. When we were up above the clouds, it felt like we were in heaven, but down below we got the beautiful, beautiful views. I swear I've never walked so fast than I did walking down that mountain to get back to our hostel to get warm. My fingers were frozen. I couldn't get there fast enough. We went to Cave and Basin in the afternoon to check out the hot spring pools and go on the guided tour that we missed out on the other day because we arrived a bit late and we also forgot our parks pass. So this time we came prepared. The tour was honestly so good. We learnt so much about the plants and wildlife that have come to call Banff their home due to the hot springs being a prime location to live all year round with the abundant food source of algae and warm water, plus the sulfur and bacteria which causes all these different organisms to grow, making it so nourishing and creating a lot of flora to grow around that warm water. We really thoroughly enjoyed the walking tour, and we also got to look at the little tiny snails that actually live in this little basin area. You're not allowed to swim in it or touch the water now because our oils actually can kill these snails, and they're a protected species here in Banff. These snails are only found here in the hot springs, which is pretty crazy, and they don't know how they've ended up here or how they survived all those years of people using the hot springs and sitting in the water with all our oils and everything coming off into the water, which can greatly impact the snail population. Later this afternoon we went and did canoeing. It was actually fantastic. We hired a canoe for a couple of hours and paddled around the Bow River. We did start off paddling up to the Vermilion Lakes, however there were a few fallen trees, so we could only go so far. It did start to rain as we were paddling up towards the Vermilion Lakes, so we had to turn back and kind of shelter under a bridge for a little while. Then it started to clear up, which was nice. We turned back and went down Bow River instead when we came to a fallen tree. Tristan did pretty much most of the paddling as my arms got tired real quick. But it was so quiet and peaceful, and we were able to just float and take in the beautiful surroundings of the mountains and forests. It was such a great way to conclude the day. Tomorrow's supposed to be raining, so I wanted to try and get as much of the outdoor activities done today in the beautiful sunny weather. Oh, if you be my girl. I finished off the day just reading a book and having a good cup of tea, and that's all we did today. I hope you guys enjoyed today's vlog. Stay tuned for tomorrow's. I'll see you guys soon. Bye.